Hello friends, this is Mayur Panchal. Welcome to my client feedback video. And today we have my one of the US client, Mr. Ryan, co-founder and CEO of Royal Court Bali LLC. This brand is very much well known and loved by all the women across the international countries. Welcome Ryan, and thank you for coming to this chat.
Thanks for having me.
So first, let's start with your introduction and how did you start your business and how your journey has been so far in the e-commerce space.
Yeah, thank you. So we started this brand 4 years ago. My girlfriend started making the designs for herself, and many women had asked her for them, and she didn't want to share them. And I watched this happen enough times to where I said to Hart, I said, hey, I think if you opened yourself up to the idea that you wouldn't lose part of your identity, but we could build a brand around it and really help a lot of women feel beautiful and comfortable and sexy, I think there's something really special here. And so she opened herself up to that, and we started selling it one-on-one to other women. And it reached a point where she could no longer do one-on-one. It needed to scale. And so I decided to use my expertise in marketing, branding, photography, etc., and build this thing out on a website. And that's when it really started to grow. We did this all direct to consumer from Bali for the first couple of years. And Mayur came into my world. You came into my world specifically through a friend recommendation, and started off with doing some bookkeeping, I believe, at the beginning. And you just showed up professionally, consistently. And as it needed more and more support with things financial, you just always showed up. You started taking over our payments processing for us, doing payments so I didn't have to send like 10 payments a day, which was a real pain in the butt. And from that, we started doing monthly reports and even CFO level things, basically like giving full financial reports, giving budgets, giving forecasting. And we've just built this together hand in hand over the last couple of years. And now you're my finance guy. We do all things finance, like Mayur, tell me the numbers, and you show up with these reports that are so detailed and really help me to see the internal health of the business. Because for me, I'm a visionary, I'm a creative, and it's really helpful to have really logistical, statistical analysis on things so I can make some informed decisions. So thank you for that.
So let me go back to the time that we started together. So what were your initial challenges or problems or goals that you had before you hired me as your CFO?
When we first started out, one of the challenges that we had was really keeping our books in order. And not just that, but having a good snapshot of how the money was flowing month on month. I was doing a lot of this myself, and I'm definitely not a numbers person, but I am smart. So I figured out how to do it as best as I could. But this is taking so much time on my end, and I really didn't enjoy it. So the challenge that you really helped us overcome was just being hands off on the numbers and trusting that that's your domain, that you're going to handle it, and that it's going to be done with a high level of accuracy and timeliness.
So my service help you get more free time?
Yeah, you've helped us get a lot more free time and also helped find ways to optimize certain systems. I'd say that's definitely something that happened a little bit later on in the process as we started going more into CFO level things. I would say one of the biggest things you've helped us do is to make informed decisions, even regarding negotiations, how to negotiate on pricing, how to create inventory systems, things that are just around keeping accounts of resources that we have, which is so important.
Yes. And how do you find your management style change from before me and after me? What was the changes in your business style or your, as a personal level also changes in your management style?
My management style has changed since working with you in the sense that I now have data-driven approaches to things and more systemic thinking, which is really helpful. So for instance, one of the big wins that you helped us do was negotiating better fulfillment pricing from our shippers. We were DHL at first, and then the pricing was really high, and then FedEx came to us, and you told me how to get the pricing down and have them compete for our business. Not just the business now, but future business and projected business. So that was a big one that really helped us a lot. You also helped me pretty much anytime there's any sort of negotiation, you tell me how to negotiate that down in a really strategic way. So that's really helped. And from a management perspective, I'd say now that we have data points and KPIs for certain aspects, it really helps us just to know how to measure our success and how to take certain actions that can help drive that number either higher or lower as we need.
If I say about the reservations that someone could have before hiring a virtual CFO, like cost versus the benefit or let's say about the remote aspect of whether a virtual CFO can handle your stuff or not. How would you respond to that based on your experience?
Yeah. Well, number one, I'd say if you're a business owner and you have reservations about working with somebody new who's remote for such a important part of the business, I totally
Hmm.
get it.
Hmm.
At first, I was like, I don't know who you are. I have no
Hmm.
idea. I'm going off a friend recommendation,
Hmm.
and so it was definitely a trust exercise. But we started small. We started small with
Hmm.
something that was easy, like bookkeeping. But I would say after all that experience and building that trust, it's actually really beneficial to have somebody who's remote, to have
Hmm.
you on over there, because you're able to see things from a different perspective than maybe we can when we're in the business. Yeah, to the business owner who might be thinking that it's like a really vulnerable thing to let someone in on, I'd say just build trust and know that Mayur's done nothing but show up consistently for us with the highest level of timeliness and accuracy. Yeah, it's been really great.
And what do you rate about cost versus the benefit that you get? What do you invest in CFO, and how do you? What are the benefits? Whether do you get more benefit out of that? What do you invest?
Yeah, when it comes to cost versus benefit for hiring a CFO like Mayur, I would say it's a no-brainer. Um, the benefits of just knowing what's actually going on in the business, and not just that, but having really strategic recommendations of actions to take to
Hmm.
help improve those markers. Money is money, it comes and goes, but the value of that type of knowledge is what helps save time, save resources, and that over the long run is the value is way higher than the cost, which is why we continue to build and grow together.
Yeah. So we have been working since last almost 3 years now. Since 21, we are working
Yeah.
together, right?
Yeah.
So that's amazing. Let's focus on now what we have done so far. Strategies that we have worked on. Like one of the strategies that we worked on is cash flow management. Second is profit maximization of how we reduce the cost and that thing. And third is the revenue enhancements. So can you speak a little specific about each three? Cash flow management, how we have done for you, profit maximization, and the sales.
Yeah. So one of the first things we've worked on is cash flow management. And this is really beneficial to see the cash flows that we actually have on hand. And what's really helped around this has been the forecasting that's based on all of our past data. So because we're in a fashion industry that's seasonal, there's certain months that go up higher and certain ones that go lower. So to know what that looks like on the average last 3 years we've been in business and how we project that into the future really
Hmm.
allows us to have an eye on what's coming so that we can prepare. Oh, do we need to take a loan here? How can we take our revenues and turn it into cash because we're going to need it for this, this, and this? So that's really allowed, it's kind of given a safety net of
Hmm.
understanding of what's needed and when. And that's
Hmm.
been really helpful for us because now I can make decisions from a place of, okay, well, can we afford to pay this photographer this much for this thing? Or is it actually not in our cash flow right now? Whereas
Hmm.
before, I was kind of just flying by the seat of my pants and being like, I think we'll make it work. I'm not really sure.
Gut
And so
feeling.
it's just a higher level of certainty now, which feels really good.
What about the profit enhancement that activity that we did for like cost optimization, seeing all the numbers and doing the cost optimization? How was that?
Yeah. Yeah. The second thing we worked on is cost optimization, which is basically increasing revenues, but also making the costs as low as possible. It was really eye opening to see just where the costs were coming from and
Hmm.
how we can bring certain things down. So one of the major ways was transitioning from shipping everything direct to consumer from Bali to using a third party logistics warehouse.
Hmm.
Now, the cost to do that is actually really high to make that transition, to order all the inventory, to stock it in the warehouse, to pay for the fulfillment. But
Hmm.
after doing it, we've noticed that the cost of the goods to actually do it that way, we're actually saving way more money.
Hmm.
So that's one major way we've done it. One thing we're currently working on is finding better fabric suppliers
Hmm.
for our products because from what we found so far, we can get it for a lot cheaper. And
Lot
as long
cheaper
as the
actually.
quality is the same, it's going to put us in a really good position
Hmm.
to maximize our margins and or bring the pricing down to make it more accessible to more
Mass
customers
public. Yes.
while having the same profit margin. So it's a really, really helpful. Really helpful.
Let's talk about the specific monthly meetings that we do, right? How is your experience about the monthly meetings that we do so far?
Yeah, I really look forward to the monthly meetings that Meyer and I do. The numbers part isn't the most exciting thing for me, but I get my coffee and I get in there and we look at all the stuff. it's really important for me to see as the CEO of the business, like how things are actually going. Because there's how it feels, maybe how it looks on the outside, but really seeing the numbers has been really eye opening. So I really look forward to that. And the most important thing for me about those meetings is the strategic actions at the end. There was even last week, I even shared with Mayur some challenges that I felt emotionally with the business, and he was really great at supporting me and offering some coaching actually around ways to improve some aspects, which is really helpful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just find it like a very great time to just like dive in, look at what's happening, and get really actionable insights for the business.
So last couple of months we started with the inventory management reports also. So
Yeah.
are you feeling very value adding stuff from that?
Yeah, well, we just started doing inventory reports. It's something that we're building out together as to like what we need and what that looks like. It's the first time in our 4 years of business that we've had data analysis on these things. In the past, it's been accessible through Shopify or through Stocky, but it's like you have to really wade around the sea of information. And to have it put together in a report with some specific actions to take has been really helpful for my team to be able to just, okay, great. What do we need to focus on? This? Okay, good. Let's go do it. Yeah.
Last question. What would be your advice to anyone considering hiring me as a e-commerce virtual CFO?
If you're thinking of hiring Mayur as your virtual CFO, I would say absolutely great decision. I know for a fact that you will get more than your money's worth with this investment. He's really good at listening and putting things into practice and delivering results. And yeah, I think it's a great partnership.
Thank you so much for the appreciation. And this brings to end to this interview. Thank you so much for coming to this chat, Ryan. And we appreciate your partnership with your business. Thank you.
Thank you.